Okay, I'm gonna unmute myself. All right, can everyone hear me? Can everyone hear me? Okay, my name is Richard Lewis Brown. Today is July 6, 2021. I'm the new Local 1000 president. This is my first emergency board meeting. I'm excited to be here this evening. Before we start, I'm gonna say a few words. And then once we start, officially, then we can start with using the Robert Rules of Order. So until we officially start, this is just me giving some opening remarks. And so this is how it's gonna go. Today we're here to help Lassen County. People in Lassen County are facing prison closure for the California Correctional Center by next June 30th, 2022. And so we're here to help them. But before we get started with that, I want to read some letters that they sent. And I think it's very, very important that I read these letters. And so let me read this first letter to you. It's from Debbie Gibson, okay? So here we go. To whom it may concern, I am an employee at High Desert Prison who will not lose my job. And it is a disaster. I repeat, it is a disaster for CCC to close for many reasons. Besides the families that will be displaced by people losing their jobs, it affects the economy in Lassen County in a very negative way. CCC is the main fire camp for the inmates to work and train to be rehabilitated. It is crucial to have fire camps up here in the mountains, especially with this fire season ahead of us. Training camps outside this area are not effective. I'm gonna repeat that. Training camps outside this area are not effective. Our taxpayer dollars of California just spent close to $40 million updating this prison. How is that okay to waste taxpayer money on updating a prison and then turn right around and close it? Close a different prison that can handle and absorb the people in the area finding new jobs. Thank you, Debbie Gibson. That's just the first one. Okay. I'm gonna go to the second letter. It starts off, who may it concern? To whom it may concern. My name is Laurie Root. I'm a fifth generation resident of Lassen County. Fifth generation. My daughter is now a sixth generation resident. We live on a ranch that was established back when Lassen County was established. The same ranch that started the eminent domain over twice, and we were forced to sell or have eminent domain declared over us a third time. That is 3 times that the state took my land for next to nothing. They promised, this is the state now, they promised that taking our land would help the community. Okay? I guess for a while that was true. This community came to depend on the state/prison for its overall economy. However, now that this community is fully dependent, I repeat this, that this community is fully dependent on CDCR, they want to close it for the good of the state. My family is buried in this county. That includes my daughter who died in my arms. I can already hear a lot of you saying, I'm sorry, but that's the way it is. My question is, does it have to be the way it is? Do we have to stop? Do we just roll over and take it? We have protested, written letters, and had meetings trying to stop or at least lessen the impact that CCC closing would have on this community, on our SEIU 1000 members that are located here, all with little to show for it. Then she goes on. I have learned a lot during this process. I have learned that if we were one of the bigger cities, the impact wouldn't be so great. I'm gonna repeat that. I have learned a lot during this process. I have learned that if we were one of the bigger cities, the impact wouldn't be so great. Okay? I would have a chance to find another state job and still keep my retirement and my residence. However, this is not the case here. There are not a lot of jobs available. Therefore, I have to move if I get bumped, causing me to lose my ranch and possibly my retirement. I cannot sell my ranch because it belongs to my family, not me. I cannot just pick up and go because I'm a single parent with a single income. Okay? Coming up with deposits and finding a safe place to rent will be difficult. We all know that. Okay. I have already started researching, and the results are overwhelming and depressing. It's not easy for me to pick up and move when I have lived here for generations. Remember, she stated she's a 5th generation Lansing County. Okay, now, I have roots here, and I just can't pick up my deceased daughter's grave and move her too. I can honestly say I don't know a lot about the union. It's another area that I'm learning about as we go through this process. I don't know what the fund, the $2 million will come from or how it will be dispersed. What do I know is that the $1 million, I'll repeat this to you. What I do know is that the $1 million that was sent to Newsom with his recall election, some say that was okay, others disagree. What I know is that he received it legally because it was used for politics. But how do we give to Newsom and not try to help our members? I'm going to repeat that for you again. How do we give to Newsom and not try to help our members? An argument could be made that this closure is happening because of the very conservative views that are held in Lansing County. I'm going to repeat it for you again. An argument could be made that this closure is happening because of the very conservative views that are held in Lansing County. It can be argued that CCC wasn't even on the elimination list until, say with me now, until we had enough votes to recall Newsom. Interesting. This into a political retaliation. I'll repeat that. That can turn this into a political retaliation. Next paragraph. This person's writing, they're writing strong. Lansing County is fighting the closure and fighting for the employees. Additionally, we have a new president of SEIU 1000, Richard Lewis Brown, who is trying to help the members of SEIU 1000. I have read a lot of people critiquing him. However, he is the first person who is honestly trying to help the members of SEIU 1000. The state is not planning on helping that much with the moving expenses. I know people that moved voluntarily before this ever went down, and the state paid them more than what it is now offering to pay people for an involuntary move. Isn't that backwards? And this is the first time of me hearing that. Okay. This money can be set aside to help people that are involuntarily displaced. It can help child care and while people are trying to start their lives over. I guess I don't understand how it hurts to have it set aside for SEIU 1000 members in case the state doesn't help us. I'm going to repeat that statement for you again. I guess I don't understand how it hurts to have it set aside for SEIU 1000 members in case the state doesn't help us. I hope that once the negotiations start with the state, we will find that we don't need it. Okay? However, if that doesn't happen, it would be comforting to know that the union did all that it could for us, and at least this money was set aside to help with the burden the members are acquiring. Members will know once more that SEIU 1000 has their back. I'll repeat that last sentence. Members will know once more that SEIU 1000 has their back. Sincerely, Lori Root. That's a powerful. Right. I'm going to go to the next one. This letter is from DLC 792 President Jack Dean. I think many are misinformed about what is happening to our members in Lansing County. CDCR is the only large employer in Susanville, and with the loss of revenue from CCC, many of the small employers will be downsizing or closing altogether. I'm gonna repeat that for you again. CDCR is the only large employer in Susanville, and with the loss of revenue from CCC, many of the small employers will be downsizing or closing altogether. The housing market in Susanville has been flooded since the announcement of the closure of CCC, and CDCR employees in Alaskan County have found that selling their homes and transferring isn't a realistic option because no jobs means no one, and I'm going to repeat this, no one is moving to Susanville to buy homes. Because of the poor rental market, many of our members in Susanville are homeowners. This will leave a lot of our members faced with the financial hardship of making 2 house payments or face foreclosure if they choose to transfer. To make matters worse, the state has said there will be no involuntary transfers. So no moving expenses will be paid by the state. I'm going to repeat that for you again. That's very important. To make matters worse, the state has said there will be no involuntary transfers. So no moving expenses will be paid by the state. With unity, we can help our brothers and sisters that are facing an economic hardship. Thank you, Jack Dean, DLC President 792. Thank you, Jack. All right. So these letters are very emotional. Makes me emotional. And we're going to be here a while tonight. So dig in. Buckle up. Buckle up, because we're going to be here a while. I mean that. From Jessica Malden. We have now lived in Susanville as a family for 9 years, and we can't stand the thought of leaving. Okay? The house we have renovated will no longer be worth what we invested in to make it our home. We ultimately will be starting over if CCC closes, this time further from our family and relationships. Our plan, as it stands now, is that if our house, by some miracle, sells, we will relocate to Arizona, and my husband works in Blythe, California. And I think Blythe is close to the Arizona state line. Okay, my children would only be able to see their father on his days off if he's lucky enough to have weekends off, since they are both in school. If our home is not able to sell, we will be forced to either default on the loan or choose to live apart. Let me repeat that for you again. If our home is not able to sell, we will be forced to either default on the loan or choose to live apart. The thought of my children not being able to hug and kiss and wish their father a safe shift every day is heartbreaking, not only for me, but my husband as well. Separating families who are the rock, support, and comfort of our officers is unthinkable. I pray daily that the closure will not proceed. Jessica Malden, I'm praying for you as well. And even though people ask me to not bring up God, I put my faith in God through Jesus Christ. And I know you do too. But we're going to keep praying. Okay. Next up, Don Wagner. Here we go. Okay. Loss of $80,000 in equity in my home. Loss of $96,000 in the state's CalPERS retirement contribution. I won't be vested until June 2022. I am a single mother of 2 and will have to relocate my family to work at a hospital that pays more. Our local hospitals do not pay enough to meet my family's needs. I uprooted my children from their family, their friends, and everything they knew they've ever known and moved to Susanville for a better life. I knew that as a single mother, I could single-handedly support my children with employment at CCC. I'll repeat it for you again. I knew as a single mother, I could single-handedly support my children with employment at CCC. I went from being dependent on food stamps, cash aid, and low-income housing to get through nursing school. Working at CCC, I was able to purchase my own home and provide stability for my children. Love it. Okay, we are beyond devastated by the closure, and I will never be able to recover from this financial blow. The loss in retirement contributions and my home equity is all that I have. Only those closest to me know how hard I have struggled to get to where I am today. Now everything is being ripped from me. Cost of living everywhere else is nowhere near what Susanville's is. I am able to afford my mortgage here. However, elsewhere, I will not be able to own my own home again. Don't give up, Don Wagner. We're not giving up yet. We're going to keep fighting. Okay, so this looks kind of long. Here we go. The closing of the California Correctional Facility in Susanville should be of great concern to every Local 1000 represented employee.
ASL needs to change.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll start over again. The closing of the California Correctional Facility in Susanville should be of great concern to every Local 1000 represented employee. Unlike the dual vocational institution, DVI, located in Tracy, our union brothers and sisters in Susanville have far less options for employment where their families and homes are currently located. Many things are being said about this proposed donation, but let's define it for what it really is and why this proposal is on the table. A $2 million donation is a life raft to buy our brothers and sisters time and a peace of mind in order to plan their next move.
Richard, can you stop? The ASL folks are trying to change
Okay.
people, so.
Okay. So we're going to pause for a second. I imagine the interpreters are changing. And these are powerful messages.
Oh, Jamie Ellerson needs to come in. She may be the other interpreter.
She's the Jamie Ellison. Okay. And then I see Everett Page trying to enter. Is he a DLC president, Everett Page? Or is he a bunk chair? Okay, please allow him to enter the room. Okay, so we'll keep going here. So I'll start again. The $2 million donation is a life raft to buy our brothers and sisters time and peace of mind in order to plan their next move. The closing of a major employer in Susanville is not only upsetting the life balance for our brothers and sisters, their families, and it will severely impact the town of Susanville as well. A substitute motion has been submitted by 5 DLC presidents to place the responsibility on the state of California to minimize the disruption of Local 1000 represented employees. The substitute motion states this mitigation package could include, but is not limited to, promptly bargaining in good faith with SEIU Local 1000 for binding commitments of the historic, number 1, relocation costs, 2, retraining costs, 3, re-education costs, and 4, placing our staff in appropriate employment positions of their choosing. The state of California is to actively educate all CCC staff regarding their options, including but not limited to statutory SROAs and reemployment opportunities. Okay, and so this is a substitute motion for this evening when we start the board meeting with the Robert Rules of Order. So this person goes on and says, these are excellent ideas submitted by the DLC presidents. But I would ask them, why is this motion being submitted only now? The state of California announced this closure in April 2021, But let's be realistic. This decision was not made in April. Discussions and analysis were a long time in the making as the LAO released its report in February 2021 outlining its proposals. Until now, this BOD, Board of Directors, has taken no action to protect our union brothers and sisters. I'm gonna repeat that for you again. Until now, this BOD has taken no action to protect our union brothers and sisters. Yet, in a lame duck session, an emergency meeting was called by the BOD and a rush vote was taken to donate $1 million to the Newsom recall campaign. 44 from this board voted in favor of donating that money with full knowledge that President Walker had already lost the election, as well as the very public stance of the then president-elect, longtime stance opposing such political pandering. Okay. This substitute motion goes on to state this. The state also has a duty and a historic obligation to mitigate the adverse impacts to staff of their cost-saving decisions, and that should never be the responsibility of the dues-paying members of SEIU Local 1000. Let me stop right here. We represent 99,938 employees. We don't represent just dues-paying members. Let me be crystal clear. Let me be crystal clear on that. Okay, let me move on. The hypocrisy of that statement should be obvious to everyone on this board because it is certainly obvious to our represented employees. President Walker's loyalists and those that claim to oppose Yvonne Walker's agenda were willing to climb into bed together to maintain the status quo. Okay. Where was this board enthusiasm in February and April to help our union brothers and sisters in Susanville? I'm going to repeat that for you again. Where was the board enthusiasm in February and April to help our union brothers and sisters in Susanville? 44 members of this board have told dues-paying members that it is our responsibility to prop up already well-funded politicians, but not our own represented employees. Instead of doing something, co-signers... Oh, that's fine. Instead of doing something, co-signers of this proposal will defer to the state of California. This is nothing more than political optics, appearing as if they're doing something, but instead it's just passing the buck. What was asked of Governor Newsom when you handed him that money? Did he consider our union brothers and sisters who were losing their jobs? Did you ask for anything in return, or was it a blank check? Our represented employees have spoken. They are tired of the politics, but it is very apparent that many on this board are still entrenched in a false ideology. Okay. Continuing, this substitute motion goes to state the state of California is in a surplus position because state employees sacrificed, and that person has this word correct, sacrificed during COVID-19. And asking our members to now underwrite another cost savings for the state is unacceptable. Okay, and that was in the motion. Okay, this is a straw man argument and grossly false. Local 1000 was under a signed contract. State employees should never have been asked to foot the bill under any circumstance. Under this union last administration, represented employees were scapegoated by both Schwarzenegger and Brown, Governor Brown. So it doesn't matter what political party, is in office. They come and they take our money anytime they want. We give up the money or they just take the money. We don't fight back. We don't go on strike. Okay. Here's the last page of this long essay. The state of California realized labor costs of savings somewhere between $2 to $3 billion. The claims in this substitute motion crediting the 75 billion surplus to state employees is false and is self-aggrandizing for not enforcing the contract. Here it is. Here's a part of the motion. The state has previously worked in good faith. Let me repeat this for you again in this motion that's coming tonight. The state has previously worked in good faith with our bargaining chairs and teams to protect our members, and this should happen. This should happen again. Let me stop right there. If these bunk chairs are bargaining in good faith, then where's the hero pay? Where's the essential worker pay? Where's the premium pay? If they're working so hard around the clock and they need their union leave, where's the money at? That money's been here for a while, before I took over on June 30th. What are they doing right now to get you that hero pay, premium pay, essential worker pay, if those 9 bunk chairs are doing their job? I'll move on. Again, does this statement align with the facts that for the last year, Local 1000 members sacrificed 9.23% and had negotiated raises deferred by a side letter? Where were the bunk chairs when the leadership decided to tear up the negotiated contract? I'm going to ask that question again. Where were the bunk chairs? Where are they? When the leadership, Local 1000 leadership, decided to tear up the negotiated contract. The boards should spend more time fighting for our most vulnerable employees instead of patting themselves on the back. Okay. Now, before we start the official board meeting, that was quick, that wasn't very long, and I'm happy that everybody stayed because I was being told that many of the board members will leave and I won't have a quorum tonight. And so I'm glad they're being patient and showing me patience. I really appreciate that. Okay, so now I have a few words to say. And this won't take long. Here we go. Before we start this emergency board meeting, let me first start by saying this. I believe in God through Jesus Christ. I'm going to say it for you again. I believe in God through Jesus Christ. If that's offensive to you, then pray for me. If you don't believe in God, great, but I still love you anyway. And I know many people don't like when I say that I believe in God through Jesus Christ. Buckle up, because I'm not changing. Listen to what I'm saying on this. I'm not changing for you. I'm not doing that. Okay. The only reason why I'm here is because of God's divine destiny that was revealed to me in a dream in the summer of 2020. I'm going to say it for you again. Divine destiny. I was shown in the dream in the summer months of 2020 that I would win the election and I would be president. You don't have to believe it. I'm not begging you to believe it. This is what it is. Okay. I was put here by God for the special purpose to unify our union against this pulp fiction of evilness and destruction. Therefore, let me say this for you clearly. Therefore, God put me here. And when I leave, it will be by God's decision enacted by the people he created. Okay? See, life started with God creating man after creating this particular, listen to my words carefully, this particular world and this man in his own image. I'm not from evolution. I'm from God's creation. And I'm sending a message to people in Local 1000. I'm sending you a clear-cut message. Okay. It should be noted through the grace of God I'm here today after the Sacramento police was called to my residence on May 25th, 2021 at 5 a.m. in the morning based on a caller stating that there was a woman in my house screaming. Are we going to dig into this one? Are we going to talk about this? Oh, yeah. Oh, sure. I'm going to say it for you again. The cops came to my house May 25th. Now, you probably don't care about that. Wasn't your life on the line. And right after they announced on May 24th I had won the election, the very next day I had the cops at my house at 5 o'clock in the morning at my residence saying that a caller called and said, there's a woman in my house screaming. And as a black man in America, my life is on the line. Okay? This false claim against me could have cost me my life one day after winning the election for Local 1000 president by beating the incumbent who everyone, and I mean everyone in this room too, all of you didn't think she could be beat. But she got beat. My faith in God, you can't question. Okay. By the grace of God, the Sacramento police did not stereotype me as being a scary, hostile, or angry black man. They didn't do that. They didn't do it. Yet people were afraid of me. And I'm grateful to the police for not stereotyping me, okay? I did not stereotype all police as being racist. I'm gonna repeat that for you again. As a black man in this country, I did not stereotype all police for being racist. By the way, I strongly support police unions and stand with our firemen across America. Because remember, I'm pro-labor, okay? And in my personal opinion, the teachers' unions, they can't do any wrong, okay? So when you hear people tell you that, oh, well, Richard's working with the, what do they call it, that Freedom Foundation? No, that's a lie. Right to work, that's a lie. Those people who are telling you this, they're liars. They're liars. Okay. However, the Sacramento Police Chief, Daniel Hahn, is refusing to hold a press conference with me to investigate why someone made this false claim against me. So I guess all that talk Chief Hahn has done regarding Black Lives Matter and improving relations with the black community is just flat out BS. Okay? Oh, we're gonna go on. So if you don't want to hear it, Ruth Ibarra, you can leave the room. Okay, let's continue on. Now, does anyone remember Emmett Till? Does anybody remember Emmett Till? Maybe we should check our history. Okay? Does anyone remember Tulsa, Oklahoma? And I hear all you people running around here talking about Black Lives Matter, but what I really want to know is, are you sincere when you say that? Okay. Does anyone remember Erastus Brown being lynched in Missouri, July 10th, 1897? Does anybody remember that? All these claims involved women. And so when the cops came to my house on May 25th, 2021, I could have lost my life that morning. And all you people walking around talking about Black Lives Matter, hold on a second. Because I told you I was going to talk to y'all tonight. We're going to be here for a while. When our union gave up our money, 2 days gave up our money, what they did, I'm going to read you these dates. Because no one called to see how DLC President 752 Kevin Healy. Now, here we go. DLC President Anna Taylor, you can keep calling me. I'm going to keep cutting you off. Here we go. So here we go. June 12th, 2020. June 19th, 2020, Black Lives Matter. 2020, Black Lives Matter conversation. September 11th. We'll hold off for a second. My name's Richard. Thank you. Okay.
Richard, do you know how to turn off the ringer? That way you don't have to be bothered by it?
You know what? Let DLC President Anna Taylor, if this is how she wants to act, let her keep acting this way. Because I'm going to keep saying her name. So, we have a new interpreter. So here we go. October 30th, 2020, racial justice conversation. Racial justice conversation. November 20th, 2020. December 4th, 2020, racial justice. And finally, December 11th, 2020, racial justice conversation. All that race while they gave up your money. Gave up your money. That's what was on the line. No one came to call. We're going to keep going here. Done. Did my union call to see story? Question my integrity. Why would I lie on something like that? Kevin Healy, you must have missed the 3 educational days on Black life and racial justice. See, this is the game I'm showing you live is the board that you have, the leaders that you have. I have to say, that's what they're doing. But let them, we're going to stay here for a while. Okay, so here we go. To provide financial justice for all of us because all state employees' lives matter equally. Okay? So now let me get to my next point. I must acknowledge that California, the #1 rated state agency in the U.S. regarding rising state municipal debt issues. Let's hold on for a second. As you can see, these people, this DLC president, 786, Anna Taylor, keeps ringing my phone. She's being totally, she doesn't care about you. What she's trying to do is cause disruption. And you see, keep me hitting the phone you have in this union, this. And she keeps calling. Going on anyway. So here we go. This emergency bill called labor-friendly current governor who still has not sent our Local 1000 representative. This so-called labor-friendly current governor who still has not sent. Okay? Now, how long will this financial hardship continue? Okay? But hold on. If they think I'm walking off, I'm not. I'm going to keep fighting and fighting and you know what? Okay, let's go. Wait a minute. Something stinks to high heaven. I'm going to spray it out of here. Because why hasn't the current millionaire governor not given Local 1000 representative employees? I thought politics mattered because this is my 7th money act. See, this is the buzz about me. If you want to test me, I'm not going away. I'm going to keep fighting. I'll be here. Trust me. I drank coffee all day today. I'm wired up. So this, maybe the bunks, the federal money has been too busy working on their own agendas while on full-time. I'm going to repeat for you again. Let's continue on. Bunks should handle their work responsibilities, such as meet and confers on state release time. Repeat this for you again. Maybe just the bunks should handle their work responsibilities, such as confers on state release time, as stated in our contract in Section 2. So the state will pay for this state work and help hold the bunks accountable along with protecting our jobs for our Local 1000 rank and file staff. Okay. All right, that was a quick pause. Okay, let's get to the next part here. California has a $75.7 billion in surplus and another $25 federal money en route, but we're probably in the same 2020 $54 billion deficit that they told us. Remember they told us we were in this deficit in 2020 and they needed our money for 2 straight fiscal periods, 2 days a month? And then when the recall situation came up, he backed off. I'm here to remind you of that. We won't be tricked or intimidated this time into giving up our money. Hold on one second here. Now, the reason why we won't be tricked is because we have a new leader that has the courage to fight for us and our money to the very end of time. I'm going to say it for you again. You have a new leader who's going to fight for you. He's not going to give up. No matter how much they come at me, I'm going to come right back at you. But this current governor, the millionaire governor, has tons of time to give money. Now listen to this. I want you to hear this on this. The current governor has time, tons of time, to give money in the amounts of $500 in 2020 and $600 in 2021 to undocumented workers because he cares so much about them. In fact, this current governor cares so much for Local 1000 representative employees, he has suffocated our hopes for respect that he has started with his own image recall vaccination lottery. Okay? This vaccination lottery is for anyone at $1.5 million per winner for a grand total of $15 million for 10 lucky people. The state itself is $500,000 for this, quote, image recall lottery. And for heaven's sake, the dreams getaway. I can't make this up. The dreams getaway that makes a foolish person want to where there is no heaven. But still no labor love. No labor love for Local 1000 representative employees who put their families and their CCR and other agencies that require their essential employees to continue to come to work during this tragic COVID pandemic. But this is what happens when you depend on politics. This is what happens when you depend on politicians, okay? A strike fund that a real labor union has. This is what happens. And when you have a leader that challenges the status quo, you'll see, quote, the status quo followers try to disrupt that leader, disrespect that leader, run that leader off. Oh, now here's something interesting. Tonight, this makes me smile. Tonight, we're going to ensure that the VPs have full-time, union leave so they can fulfill their job responsibilities. Yay! Okay, Tony. All right. Okay. So we're really excited about this tonight. We have a second part of the agenda. We're going to vote to have the do. And hopefully, the board will agree on that agenda item. We don't know about the first one. So here we go. We know that change is not enough because we have truly never had a labor union that needed change to begin with. But what we have right now is a social justice organization and a financial sponsor of the Democratic Party via SEIU International in Washington, D.C. And I'm going to repeat this for you again. You can't change what you never had. You can't change what you've never had. We've never had a labor union. Okay. So first, we must create a labor union where everyone We must first create a labor union where everyone feels equally respected because all state employees' lives matter equally before change is possibly needed. Okay. We have not officially started this meeting, so don't send me texts, okay? We have not officially started this meeting. Me and Scott Burns talked about this, did we not, Scott? Okay, Scott's busy. We talked about this. The meeting has not officially started. You must be patient. Because you was patient in 2016, June 26, when you gave Yvonne Walker the salary stipend. Y'all went 22, 24, patient now. See, when you were giving her that money in 2016, June 26, prior contract that broke down in early June of 2016, but she kept you for 22 hours. We're only at 7:03. We started at what time? 6:15? A long time to go. Leave this board meeting. And therefore, I won't have a quorum because that's what Richard Wake wanted. He was on Facebook saying, don't give him a quorum, just leave. But we haven't started it yet. But I'm letting everybody know who you really are. This is who you are. You know what you're doing? You're not wasting my time. You're wasting the staff's time. You got the staff working their butts off. You're wasting their time. They could be home with their families right now, the staff. But they got to deal with Richard. Okay? Yeah. You can mumble all that you want. This is going live. We're going to keep going, DLC President 787 Ruth Ibarra.
Yes, that's
Okay.
my name.
Yeah, I know your name. Yeah. Well, you stand up for your members, okay? Yeah. See, this is why I didn't want her to be in here tonight, because I knew she'd cause problems. But I was trying to be nice and trying to let people come in. But I know what I'm talking about when it comes to individuals in this union and who these so-called Local 1000 leaders are. Okay, so we're going to move on here. Here we go. Number 10. So, with my election to destroy Local 1000's status quo of historically depending on politicians to save us, which is exactly like a baby needing a pacifier. Okay, it started. An example of this status quo was clearly shown on June 26, 2016. 24-hour marathon board of directors meeting. It's really a 22-hour marathon session. I'm off by 2 hours. Okay. For the salacious salary stipend for the 4 statewide officers. But now it's completely and comprehensively over because I'm not signing for no one to have that salary stipend. Okay, including myself. And someone said, well, how much money did you lose? But I $146. That's how much money I'm losing. Okay. It's about sacrifice. This is about sacrifice. Some people you have to pay to truly sacrifice and you believe in what you're talking about. And you have passion and conviction. Then it's never work. It's always a thrill. It's always exciting. Okay. We must study our past in order to create a better future. We can clearly see that our prior contract negotiations had broken down in 2016, but there was a selfish desire by the board to obtain salary stipends for the 4 statewide officers because they needed to get paid for the job they do and the regular state salaries that we pay for. That's what they wanted, and they pursued it, and it took them 22 hours, but they got it. They fought, and they got that money. Gotta love the passion. This is America. This is capitalist America. Get in where you fit in. Okay, so here we go. Here are the names of the current DLC presidents that currently sit on the board that voted to give the former president and the VPs at that time these salary stipends. That is the drinking well and has created dissension, discord, and distrust regarding the true intentions of our statewide officers. They're on the call. Should I go through it with you? Maybe I'll hold back for a second. But I got their names right here. I got their names. Okay. Stipends have encouraged other Local 1000 individuals to run for statewide office in order to obtain this dirty money. And you know who these people are who are trying to run for office who want that salary stipend. Just watch people and listen to their words. And why is this so important? It's so important tonight that you know how they wanted the salary stipend, but when it comes to helping the people in Lansing County, let's see what they do. Let's see if they love the people in Lansing County as much as they love them salary stipends. We're going to find out tonight. Okay. Hold on here. Because I have Annika Walls here. Really excited. The Bias Labs program, the Labs program is over and dead, dismissed, never existed. I don't know how it got created. There's not going to be any memory of the Labs program. Annika is going to create a whole new program. It's going to be so much better. So much better. Annika is working around the clock. I'm excited to see how it turns out. Silencing our voices, that's over. You don't have to quote over. All right, so, hold on here. Plus, with this increased new membership that we're getting, because we're getting new members every day, we're going to create a massive strike fund. And that's going to be our financial leverage. We're not going to rely on politicians to, quote, save us. This is a 50-50 partnership with the state of California. All these years, you've been told that the politicians are our bosses. That's not true. You're a taxpayer. You're a voter. You're their bosses. And so we're going to look at things much differently than how we've done it in the past. And that's why you see all these people calling and trying to disrupt this emergency board meeting that hasn't started yet officially. I'm just giving some remarks. I'm just talking, giving you some remarks. But people don't want to hear what I have to say. See, I'm showing you live in front of the whole world how these people are. That's what I'm doing. And when we start this board meeting officially, just watch them. Just watch how they act. It should be noted that the website is now opened up. Isn't that amazing? It is now opened up. The status quo of secrecy is now over. It's over. Over. There's no need for a member ID to access a nonprofit that represents close to 100,000 people, represent employees of Local 1000. We're going to have a DLC map with the DLC presidents and the state agencies for that DLC. Via phone calls to our MRC. When someone goes on the website, we're going to have a searchable link, and you'll be able to see your DLC, again, what DLC you're in. And that's fantastic. Okay. Unfortunately, it's a sad case in our union that many of our people, this is the appearance that they could be suffering from the Stockholm Syndrome. That means they empathize with the state has kind of kidnapped a lot of people's minds. And they think that the politicians are our bosses, but that's not true. And so what I'm trying to show you tonight is we have to show love and respect for our own people, because that's what a union does, contract negotiations and job representation. Why are the people in Lansing County at that prison, why are we letting people lose their jobs under a signed contract? Issue. Why are we allowing that to happen? We shouldn't allow that to happen as a real union. So let's move on. Some of our current board of directors, they defend these actions of politicians who have caused enormous pain and suffering throughout the years for our represented employees. They get mad at you. You can't even get criticism from our leaders in Local 1000. We're going to stop that. We're going to stop it. And as you can see tonight by them constantly calling my phone, because I'm showing you the childish image of what I'm saying, even though we haven't started the meeting yet. If you don't want to, but this is a concerted effort to slow me down, because you know you're going to slow me down. Now, remember these are the same people who are demanding I put them on union leave, the bunk chairs. The same people. Keep going. They quickly defend the politicians who are not thinky, smelly, and disgusting feces-like garbage statement that politicians are our bosses and politicians sign our contracts. stinky, disgusting, stale. I don't like it. Hopefully you don't like it either. In fact, that's how I won the election in the campaign. I told you I would attack that status quo and destroy it. I gave you a brochure. And no, nobody gave me money to pay for that brochure. And I didn't work with the Right to Work or Freedom Foundation or the Ugly Foundation or the Pretty Boy Foundation or any other foundation, whatever. I'm telling you, I have your interests at heart and nobody else's. And you see me fighting and fighting. And if I can fight the board, then that tells you I can fight the state government as well. Okay, so here we go. These same Local 1000 leaders refuse to accept 2 term limit maximums while the California legislature, their bosses, that's what they tell you. They're our bosses, they signed our contract. Okay, whatever. Has term limits to prevent corruption and the abuse of power. The same people who they tell you are your bosses have term limits, but yet this board doesn't want term limits. See, that's the hypocrisy of Local 1000. That's the hypocrisy. People out on it. All right. These same Local 1000 leaders refuse to acknowledge that we are taxpayers and we are voters and we are equal partners. To you, if we are not equal partners, then why have a union? If they're your bosses, then why are you paying money to the union? And they know everything, then why are you paying money to the union to protect you? If they're your bosses, let the state protect you. Let them pay your pension to you. Let them decide what's a safe workplace for you. Why pay us money? Okay, just putting it out there. Okay. When we start this official meeting tonight, you're going to see a lot of emotion in people. And it's really a shame because I've opened things up and the union does not want to open things up. And so when people tell you that they're transparent, no, they're not. They tell you what you want to hear. They tell you how they think they can, quote, play you and get on your good side. But I tell you the truth. And because I tell you the truth, you know that. And that's how I got elected, all 2,637 voters. And everybody knows that I'm on the up and up. Even my enemies know that. And I'm always going to serve you first and no one else. That's what I mean. You know, when they rushed a few weeks ago to help somebody out, we all like to help people out. And so what I'm trying to find out tonight is, and I think we already know the answer, will the board come together and help the people of Blasting County? You know, that's a big question. A big, big question. Or will they act in a selfish fashion? Because people say that the union doesn't care about its, these remarks that I've said, as you can see, it touches people. They think that by continuing to call me and interrupt this, that actually they are. But yet in the same hand, they don't want to help the people in Lansing County. And I'm going to show it to you. In fact, when it comes to the union leave, for the VPs, we're going to see what they're going to do. And it's really a shame, how you're supposed to be a union, you're supposed to, protect your people, but we don't protect us. We don't protect our people under a signed contract. I don't think we ever have. And that's why I said you don't have a union, you have a social justice organization. And I can't, it amazes me how we just give up our money and we don't fight. And when we gave up our money, I want you to understand this clearly. Them state legislators never lost a dime. You gave up your money while those at the Capitol protected their money and prioritized their families. But your leadership gave up your money. But I'm the one that's out of pocket. I'm the one that's, wrong. I'm the one that's not professional enough. But I'm the one that's showing you how these people act and how they operate. You can look at their voting record and you can see how they really don't care. They keep calling because they didn't want to be on Facebook. But they are. Because I want to show you in front of everyone how they act. And when they try to come to you and act like they're sincere and that they have your best interest at heart, they do not have your best interest at heart. They do not. But we're going to find out tonight if I'm wrong or not. We're going to find out tonight if they have love, and compassion in their hearts to set some money aside. We're going to find out tonight really how the board is going to work with me or against me. And to be honest with you, I believe a lot of the board will walk away from this call and it won't be a quorum. I'm just being honest. But see, I'm going to have a staff. And who left? And then I'm going to tell you every person who was calling me, starting at DLC President Anna Taylor, who kept calling me over and over and over again until I had to block her. They can get on my last nerves. You don't know where I'm from. You don't know what. And a lot of these people didn't serve the country. So if you don't think that I can't handle stress, you're wrong. I'm going to dig in. I was elected for a reason. And I'm not letting no one, and I mean no one, slow me down or stop me. And I'm going to expose these people for their insincerity and their lack of attention to help you. That's what I'm going to do. So what we're going to do now, it's 7:21. Look at that. We're going to pause for a few minutes. And then we're going to start the official board meeting with the Robert Rules of Order. And Mr. Burns, Scott Burns, is going to help me do this. So we're going to take a 15-minute break. So let's see. Let's make it 7:45. So we're going to take a 15-minute break, and then we're going to come back at 7:40. It's going to be more than 15 minutes, but we're going to come back at 7:45. Okay, we'll stop here and we'll start back up.
You said 7:45?
7:45.